Okay, and we are back. We were looking at this example number 2 on page 12 using your calculator. So I asked you to put this equation into y equals, and then we'll look at the graph and table. And for your x values, we're using this interval right here from -1 to 4. So let me grab my graphing calculator. Whether it says y equals or f of x equals or g of x equals, just hit this y equals. I'm going to put it in exactly as I see it, parentheses, x minus 1, close parentheses, squared, minus 4. And if it's in the middle of the problem like that, it's a minus. If it starts with that sign, it's a negative. Like this, we're going to hit the negative button because there's no minus. There's nothing you're subtracting x squared from. All right, so anyways, now to look at the graph, you'll see this U shape. That's a quadratic equation that's formed by this squared. It's called a parabola, and we have a whole chapter on that as well. And we've already seen some like that with the zeros and stuff when we factored. Ooh. All right, but what we need is the table. And we're looking at the interval from -1 to 4. So I'm going to find that right here. -1 is 0, -3, -4. We're going to copy these y values. Two is -3 again. 3 is 0, and 4 is 5. And remember, it's still a function. Yes, these have the same y values, but remember, two different people can have the same birthday. What you can't have is two x's going to the same y. All right. Or excuse me, the other way around. An x going to two different y's. So when we graph this thing, it should look like this, but we're only going from -1 to 3. So we're just going to have this piece of it. We're not going to see this. But that should show you where you can start. -1, 0, back 1, staying at 0 right there, not here. All right, use that graph to help you. So -1, 0 is right here. 0, -3 means that we don't go from side to side, just down 3. Because remember, if there's a 0 involved, the number's on the x, it's on the x-axis. If the number's on the y position, 0, -3, it's on the y-axis. All right, anyways, 1, -4 over 1 down 4. 2, -3 over 2 down 3. 3, 0 is going to stay right on your x-axis again. And then 4, 5 over 4 up 5. All right, so this, if you notice on the graph, it doesn't come to a point. It's nice and rounded. We're going to start here and just kind of do this little swoosh. So we'll take our pen. And again, if you want to zoom more while you're doing that, you can, and then zoom out. If you wanted to zoom right in and connect the points, it might be easier, and then when you zoom out, it'll be smaller again. All right, there's one more thing that our graph needs, and that is its equation. So don't forget to label y equals parentheses x minus 1 squared minus 4. All right, let's take a look at one more example on the next page. This also has a squared, so I know it's going to have that U shape. It doesn't say y equals. It just gave it its function a name. That's all. This is function g. But we're still going to go to y equals. So let's go to y equals. Again, since the first sign is that, it's going to be negative down here next to enter. X squared. And hit graph. All right, it's the U shape, but it's upside down because it's negative. So it's like frowning. All right. Now we want to go to our table. I don't see any values here, but remember it's always x and y. And we're going to look at the interval it gave us for our x's. So it wants us to use -3 to 3. So -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And go back to your calculator and copy down the y values for that. So -3 would be -9, -4, -1, 0, -1 again, -4, -9. All right, just get those exact values right from the table. That's all I did. And then again, when you go to graph, your picture should look like that. If it doesn't, you're plotting your points incorrectly. All right, just ignore those bells. Okay, so -3, -9. We're going to go back 3, down 9. -2, -4, back 2, down 4. -1, -1, back 1, down 1. 0, 0, which is our starting point, and it's called the origin. Over 1, down 1. Over 2, down 4. And over 3, down 9. All right, and it wanted us just to go from there to there, so we have closed circles, and we're going to just connect the dots. And again, if you use 2 fingers and zoom in, you can draw your line. Well, not a line, your function here. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then when you zoom out, you're good to go. Need one more thing on there, and that's its name. G of x equals -x squared. Okay? And that's it for graphing. Your homework practice is on page 14 and 15. On this one, there's your function. It says to use your graphing calculator to find those values. So basically, you're going to go to your graphing calculator, type that in, and then you're looking for g of -2. That's your x value, remember? So -2, figure out what that y is, 0, 4, and 15. So just figure out what those are using your graphing calculator. The next one, f of x, you have another function that's also a quadratic equation. Fill out the missing parts of your table and plot the points. Don't forget to label. Same with this one. That's a linear function again. There's no squared. And here's your x values that you're using from -2 to 2. And then on page 15, it's an application, so it's talking about an actual real-life situation. But anytime, don't be afraid of a paragraph. If you see an equation in there, just go to y equals, put it in. All right, and again, here's your interval for graphing. All right, if you have any questions, like always, stop by the Math Lab or stop by my Zoom math class during your regularly scheduled class time. I'm happy to help and go through any of these questions with you. Have a great day.